Even if you eat the same foods, lift the same weights, or walk the same number of steps, you can still lose muscle. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance, a condition where your muscles become less responsive to the very signals that once triggered growth and repair. But here's the hopeful news. Certain fruits, yes, fruits, can help reverse this decline. This might sound counterintuitive. Most people think of fruits as sources of sugar, fiber, or vitamins, not as muscle-preserving powerhouses. But cutting-edge research from institutions like the University of Arkansas and the Journal of Gerontology is revealing something game-changing. Specific fruits contain bioactive compounds that fight inflammation, enhance mitochondrial function, and directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis, the biological process responsible for muscle repair and growth. And here's the psychological cost of not paying attention. Muscle isn't just about looking fit or being strong. Muscle is metabolically protective. It keeps your blood sugar stable. It protects against falls. It gives you the energy to engage fully in your life, whether that's playing with grandchildren or pursuing your purpose with vitality. Losing it isn't just physical. It's a slow erosion of agency and independence. That's why in this episode, we're going to flip the script on how we think about fruit. You'll learn the top 5 fruits that aren't just good for you, they're muscle-saving tools, especially if you're over 60. We'll explore the powerful plant compounds behind their effects, how they interact with your metabolism and nervous system, and when to eat them for maximum benefit. You'll also walk away with simple, science-backed protocols, from food timing to pairing strategies that support muscle repair, mitochondrial health, and long-term strength. Because the truth is, aging is inevitable, but muscle loss doesn't have to be. You just need the right inputs. And today, that starts with fruit. Around age 60, your body's internal response to food and movement begins to shift in subtle but important ways. You might notice that even with regular meals and moderate activity, you're not maintaining the same strength or muscle tone. That's not just aging. That's anabolic resistance, a biological phenomenon where your muscles become less sensitive to the anabolic signals triggered by protein intake and resistance training. In younger individuals, eating a high-protein meal sends a strong signal to the muscles to begin muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing muscle fibers. But in older adults, that same meal produces a weaker response. It's as if the volume on that signal has been turned down. The reasons are multifactorial: reduced blood flow, chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflaging, changes in hormone levels like testosterone and growth hormone, and impaired mitochondrial function. But here's what's empowering. Nutritional inputs, including specific fruits, can turn that volume back up. Here's what the research shows. Certain fruits contain polyphenols, anthocyanins, flavonoids, and micronutrients that directly target these mechanisms. For example, studies published in Frontiers in Nutrition and the Journals of Gerontology have shown that diets rich in polyphenols can decrease muscle breakdown by lowering oxidative stress, improve insulin sensitivity, allowing more nutrients to be delivered to muscles, enhance mitochondrial efficiency, restoring energy production within muscle cells. This isn't just theory, it's observable in lab results and even muscle biopsies. In one study from the University of Arkansas, older adults who consumed polyphenol-rich foods for 8 weeks showed improved mitochondrial function and markers of muscle regeneration, even without a change in their exercise habits. Think of it like this. Your muscle is a factory. When you're younger, that factory is operating at full power. The lights are on, the machines are responsive. But as you age, the power supply dims. Fruits rich in specific compounds act like restorative energy sources, flipping the breakers back on in that factory and allowing growth signals to be heard again. And here's where psychology comes in. Many people over 60 begin to accept weakness or muscle loss as inevitable. They reduce their activity. They stop pushing themselves. But what's really happening is a kind of biological learned helplessness. The internal system has slowed, so the external behavior follows. This is where food becomes empowerment. When you consume foods that restore your muscles' responsiveness, when you literally feed your strength, your body starts to respond differently to the same inputs. Suddenly, a 30-minute walk or a moderate resistance band session begins to yield visible and felt results again. That feedback loop can reignite motivation, self-belief, and energy. A simple tool to apply is this. Aim to include at least one muscle-supportive fruit daily, ideally timed with your most protein-rich meal. This helps optimize nutrient absorption and resensitizes your muscles to the anabolic signal. We'll get into specific fruit choices in the next sections, but start to think of fruit not as a garnish or snack, but as a targeted therapeutic intervention. A question for reflection. What would change in your daily habits if you believed your body was still capable of growth? Because biologically, it is. You just need to feed it like it is. Blueberries are often praised for their antioxidants, but their power goes much deeper, especially when it comes to aging muscles. These small fruits can do something remarkable. They help your cells build more mitochondria, the energy-producing engines inside your muscle fibers. And that matters because mitochondrial decline is one of the key reasons older adults experience fatigue, slower recovery, and progressive muscle loss. Here's what's happening in your body. As you age, the number and efficiency of mitochondria in your muscle cells decline. This means your muscles have less energy to repair themselves, to perform contractions, or to recover after activity. But researchers at Tufts University and the University of Georgia found that the anthocyanins in blueberries, particularly a compound called delphinidin, can stimulate a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. This means your body is encouraged to create more and better functioning mitochondria. In one study published in the Journal of Nutrition, older adults who consumed blueberry powder daily for 12 weeks showed improved mitochondrial markers and enhanced muscle performance on strength tests. The researchers concluded that blueberry direct polyphenols help restore the cellular machinery required for energy production, making muscles more resilient, more responsive to protein, and quicker to recover from stress. And it's not just about energy. Blueberries also help reduce chronic inflammation, which is one of the silent drivers of muscle degradation. By neutralizing free radicals and reducing the activity of inflammatory cytokines, they create a more anabolic environment in the body, one where your muscles can grow instead of break down. Here's a practical tool. Consume 1/2 to 1 cup of blueberries within 1-2 hours of exercise or your protein-rich meal. This timing aligns the fruit's antioxidant and mitochondrial benefits with the period when your body is repairing and rebuilding muscle tissue. And if you're not exercising intensely, don't worry. This still works. Even daily movement like walking, light resistance bands, or gardening will benefit from these effects. You can eat them fresh or frozen. Both forms retain most of the key compounds. What matters is consistency. You're not looking for a single superfood moment. You're trying to retrain your biology to become more metabolically efficient over time. Think of blueberries as a daily deposit into your cellular energy bank. Here's something empowering. Muscle loss is often treated like an unavoidable result of aging, but what it really is, in many cases, is the result of cellular fatigue. And when you restore energy at the cellular level, strength returns faster than most people expect. That's what makes blueberries such a deceptively powerful tool. Now, before we move on to the next fruit, if this insight is helping you rethink aging and nutrition, consider subscribing. This channel is dedicated to giving you grounded, science-based tools to build strength, energy, and clarity at any age. And if you know someone who's starting to feel weaker or more tired in their 60S or 70S, send this to them. These small changes can add up to life-changing momentum. Let's keep going, because the next fruit on our list is especially powerful for improving blood flow and muscle oxygenation, and that fruit is pomegranate. Muscle isn't built in isolation. It's built through a complex network of oxygen delivery, nutrient transport, and cellular communication. And one of the most overlooked variables in that system is blood flow. If your circulation is compromised, your muscles are essentially starved of the very ingredients they need to grow. This is where pomegranate enters the picture, not just as a fruit, but as a physiological amplifier. Pomegranate is rich in allagitannins, polyphenols that the gut microbiome converts into a powerful compound called urolithin A. What's fascinating is that urolithin A has been shown to improve mitochondrial function by promoting a process called mitophagy, the selective removal of damaged mitochondria. Think of it like clearing out broken machinery in a factory so the remaining equipment runs smoother and more efficiently. In a 2019 randomized controlled trial published in Nature Metabolism, older adults who supplemented with urolithin A, derived from pomegranate, for 4 months experienced significant improvements in mitochondrial health and walking endurance without any changes in their exercise routines. This suggests that pomegranate is doing something powerful at the cellular level, creating a more efficient metabolic environment where muscle can be rebuilt and sustained. But the benefits don't stop there. Pomegranate juice has also been shown to increase nitric oxide levels in the body, which dilates blood vessels and improves oxygen and nutrient delivery to muscles. This is critical not only during physical activity, but also during rest and sleep, when the body undergoes the bulk of its repair and regeneration. One double-blind study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that participants who consumed pomegranate extract before exercise experienced reduced muscle soreness, improved blood flow, and enhanced exercise performance. For individuals over 60, these effects can be the difference between a body that stays active and one that starts to slow down. Here's a simple protocol. Drink 4-6 ounces of 100% pomegranate juice, or eat 1/2 cup of fresh pomegranate arils in the evening with or after dinner. This timing supports overnight muscle repair, improves vascular function during sleep, and synergizes with the body's natural growth hormone